beauty seems to matter not just for the practice of science, for things like theory choice and shaping project design and coding, but it also matters for well-being.
There's a common misconception that scientists are clinical and dispassionate, focused on hard facts and cut off from anything emotional or subjective. But beauty is surprisingly important to scientists. Dr. Brandon Vaidyanathan and his team are studying the role of aesthetics in science by surveying physicists and biologists around the world. They've completed the world's first empirical study on beauty in science, surveying over 3,000 scientists and conducting more than 200 interviews in 4 countries.
When we tried to understand what do scientists find beautiful in their work, we found 3 distinct types of beauty. So the first kind of beauty that we encounter among scientists is what I would call simple beauty. And so this is things like sensory experiences, colors, shapes, equations that on the surface are perceived as beautiful. And here we asked scientists on the survey whether they encounter beauty in the phenomena they study, like cells or particles and so on. And 75% of scientists said that they do. And an example of this might be a biologist in the UK who told us, I personally think that a pollinator visiting a flower, both of those things to me are incredibly beautiful. And the two of them interacting with each other, I think, is one of the most beautiful things in nature. So it's not necessarily giving you insight into why something works or how something works, but the very fact that you can see it is pleasing. The second kind of beauty we might call useful beauty, which is sort of beauty as a criterion for truth or a heuristic for truth. And this is found largely in theoretical physics, where we find a number of scientists arguing that beautiful mathematics, a beautiful equation, those sorts of things are a guide to truth. Criteria like symmetry, simplicity, elegance, aptness, and so on in their scientific equations is something that gives them confidence that they're on the road to truth. The third kind of beauty is what we would call the beauty of understanding. Scientists here tell us that what they find beautiful in their work is when they are able to see behind the appearances the kinds of mechanisms that are at work, right? When they're able to grasp, this is really what's going on. To be able to grasp how things work, to be able to really expand your understanding, requires the openness to expanding your perceptual horizons, an openness to surprise, an openness to reality being other than what you might expect. What if you could find pleasurable even being wrong, because there's some new understanding to be gained, because you value that ability to grasp the truth of what's really going on. If that truth is something you can love more than your own opinion, we think that can really transform the world. And that's, I think, a place where the public could really look to scientists to try to understand how can we cultivate this kind of aesthetic of understanding.